Alright guys, we got some G56 parts again. I just want to make a quick video on this oil deflector, as well as this little tin dude that sits on the input shaft, and what their purpose is for, because this is having me mind boggled there for a little while. Okay, first of all, here you can see the little dude installed. He just presses right on the front here of this input shaft. Here you can see one without it installed, how it's slightly smaller diameter. That way when you install the bearing, it holds it on nice and tight. Like when you pull off the bearing, sometimes it'll pop up as well. And when you get a new input shaft like this guy here, it doesn't come with one, so you want to make sure to transfer your one from your old input shaft onto this guy. Anyway, what they do is they help oil the pocket bearing. Let me just go over to the front case half here really quick, just so you can kind of see what's going on. Alright guys, so here we got the front case half. As you can see, there's two ways of getting oil into the front bearing here. You have this guy here, which catches oil from the top, and it catches oil and then channels it down into this notch and then down. And you got this little trough here. Again, has a hole down in the case, and right there, that again puts oil into the front bearing. Now here's where this deflector sits. He sits like so, and you can see there's this little doodad here. He sits on the top, and so this guy channels oil into the front, or into the top of this guy here, while this trough setup channels the oil to the bottom here. Okay, now there's going to be a little bit of a cross-contamination, if you want to call it that, because obviously this isn't a super seal, and there's going to be a little leakage right there. Now the shim pack, your shims do sit on top of there and seal it off for the most part, but obviously it won't be perfect. But for the most part, this guy goes to the top, and this guy goes in the back. So let's go back to the input shafts so we can kind of see what exactly that accomplishes. Okay, so we got the input shaft again. Now when you install in the case, obviously there's going to be your outer race. Then there's going to be your shim that you shim the transmission with. And then you have your little oil deflector that sits on top of that. Now, as remember, there's the two oil ports that go in. One transfers the oil into here, so it goes to in here, which will then get flung out through this bearing here and lube, obviously lube the front bearing there. Then you have the one that transfers oil to the backs, or in here, which then the oil gets transferred into that crevice there, and from there it goes into there. Let me switch input shafts so the bearings and stuff aren't in the way. You can see that this guy has that lip on the inside, so he goes inside that little deflector there, and so the oil gets transferred into the inside of there, which then from there, because everything's spinning, so centrifugal force would have it fling off, that little deflector keeps it in there, and for the oil to find its way out, it's not going to go towards the center of the shaft, it's going to fling out, which then means it goes through the holes that connect it to the back of the input shaft where the pocket bearing rides. So there you go. That makes sense.